Lesson 1.2.2, multiplying polynomials. And we're going to use the claw, or some of you know it as the FOIL technique. It's just a form of distribution. As soon as we get... Okay, so example 1. We're going to find the product. And remember, product means multiplying. We're going to find the product of 2x minus 1 times x plus 18. Okay, so notice there's no plus or minus signs anywhere between these two parentheses, which means we will be distributing. So find the product. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with this 2x here. Okay, in FOIL, we do the first terms of each parentheses first, right? So 2x is first here, x is first there. Okay, so breaking this down, we have 2x times x. Okay, if we're looking at these, the exponents here are 1, and there's a divisible 1 in front here. So 2 times 1 is 2, and remember the powers of exponents rule. So if we have our bases are the same, we have x and x, it means we have to add the exponents. So the exponent here is going to be 1 plus 1, so it's going to be 2x squared. Okay, so always keep that in mind. X times x, we got to add those two exponents, is going to be x squared. Okay, so again, x times x, x squared. There's a lot of kids who are going to end up struggling with that. So our first term here is going to be 2x squared. And now we're going to take that same 2x and multiply it to the outsides, right? So 2x is on the outside, 18 is on the outside. That's where that O comes from. So 2x times 18, 2 times 18 is 36. And then that x just hangs on to there. It's 36x. Okay, now we're going to take our negative 1 and distribute that as well, which is multiplication. So negative 1 times x gives us negative x, and negative 1 times 18 gives us negative 18. Next step, remember we need it in standard form, so highest exponent goes first. So highest exponent is that 2, the 2x squared. So that gets written first, and there's no other like terms for that. There's no other x squared, so we don't combine it with anything. So we have our 2x squared. Now we look at our x's. We have positive 36x here, and we have a minus 1x here. 36 minus 1x gives us a positive 35x. And our last term, our constant here, minus 18. So now if we look at this answer, it's in standard form, and there are no other terms to combine together. Example 2. Find the product of x cubed plus 9x times negative x squared. Oops, I messed that up. Plus 11. Okay, and we got to do the FOIL again for this. So x cubed times negative x squared. So if we're looking at this, I'm going to go ahead and break it down here on the bottom. I'm just going to do it for the first one and not the rest. So x cubed, and we're multiplying it to negative x squared. Okay, so we know that the numbers here are in front are ones. So 1 times negative 1 gives us a negative 1. Now we look at the bases. X cubed times x squared, the base is going to stay the same, x, but now the exponents, remember when we're multiplying like bases, we have to add the exponents, so it's going to be x to the 5th. So x cubed times negative x squared gives us negative x to the 5th. I'm going to erase that so we have room, but I will rewrite it. So we have negative x to the 5th. Okay, remember, like bases, add exponents. Now we're going to do x cubed times 11, which would give us a positive 11x cubed. Right? There's no, that 11 doesn't offer any variable or exponents to add to that x cubed, so it just turns into 11x cubed. Now we look at the 9x squared and we multiply it to the negative x squared. So 9 times negative 1 gives us a negative 9, and x times x squared, remember we got to add those two exponents, there's an invisible 1 there, gives us x cubed. And now we take that 9x and we multiply it to the 11. 11 times 9 is 99. And again, there's that 11 doesn't offer any x's to multiply to, so it just remains x. Okay, standard form. Highest exponent first. It's that negative x to the 5th power, and there are no like terms for it, so it's negative x to the 5th. And we look at the next highest exponent, it's going to be 3, and we have 2 of those. We have 11x cubed minus 9x cubed, which gives us a positive 2x cubed. And we have our last term here, plus 99x. So that is our answer. We look at it, it's in standard form, and there's no other terms to combine. Alright, example 3. We have 3x plus 4 times x squared plus 6x plus 10. Okay, so notice on this one we have a binomial, right? So we have one with 2 terms being multiplied to a trinomial, and we got 3 terms there. So this one is just going to require one additional distribution on each of these numbers. So first one we start with the 3x, and we have to distribute it to every term. Right, so it's going to look like this, every term to the other parenthesis. Right, so we're going to distribute it 3 times, but for now let's just work on the first one. So we have 3x times x squared. Just remember there's an imaginary 1 there. So 3x times x squared gives us 3x cubed. Right, there's an invisible 1 there too. Remember we got to add the exponents. So now we're going to take that 3x and multiply it to 6x. 3 times 6 is 18. X times x is x squared. And now we take that 3x and multiply it to the 10. 3 times 10 is 30. And the 10 doesn't offer any x's, so that x just stays as an x. Okay, now we move on to the 4. It's a positive 4, so now the 4 gets distributed to all 3 of these terms as well. 4 times x squared gives us 4x squared. 4 times 6x, 6 times 4 is 24. And then there's that lonely x there. And 4 times 10, which is 40. Okay. Now we go on to combining our like terms, and you want to start with the highest exponent. So the highest exponent we have is that x cubed there, and there's no other x cubed, so we just go ahead and bring that down. 3x cubed. Now we look for x squareds. We have 18x squared here, 4x squared here. 18x squared plus 4x squared gives us 22x squared. 22x squared. And now we look for x's. Let's see, we have 30x here, and we have 24x here. That gives us 54x. And the last thing we have is that constant on the outside, that 40. So we have plus 40. So then we look at our answer. It's in standard form. Our exponents are decreasing. Right, we got 3, 2, 1, and then none. And there are no other like terms to combine. That is our final answer. Okay. So going on to example 4. So example 4, what is the perimeter of the rectangle in simplest form? So remember we did do perimeter not too far back. Remember we have perimeters when you add all the sides together, but there is that little shortcut that we can do. So we notice that we have 2 4x plus 3s, We have 2 4x plus 3s plus, because remember, perimeter you got to add. So we have plus, we have 2 5